Okay. Now, I work in radio, so I don't get the feedback very often, okay? So I'm going to need y'all to talk back to me. How are y'all doing tonight? All right. Happy 4th of July.
Yes.
So that's happening today. Have y'all ever been to a fireworks celebration? Good. How many of y'all, this is your first time at 19 miles? All right.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Great.
All right. How many of you, this is your 4th season of 19 miles? Yeah. All right. So there's plenty to go around, right? We've got the old hats and we've got the new people. Speaking of old hats, I've got an old hat. Jody promises me that there will be hats eventually. Okay. How many of y'all want a hat? Yeah, okay. Jody, you see this, right? First off, welcome to 19 Miles. This is our 4th season. I guess in episodes, this would be the 3rd episode. Is that right? I think so. I'm Ronnie Leftwich. Glad to be your host for this evening. We have a star-spangled banner lineup. Oh, come on.
Come on.
That was gold.
Good.
That was straight from my head, too. We do want to thank you for being here. First off, we want to thank our sponsors. Yes, our sponsors are you. We have many ways that you can help donate to this. This is completely donation-based. There's a bucket in the back. We've got a donation site you can go to as well. And we appreciate that to keep this going and bringing live music to Franklin, Tennessee. Do y'all want to meet our artist? Are y'all excited? Go ahead. So now I've got big shoes to fill with Dan passing this over for me tonight. He said, "Can you handle it?" I said, "I got this. I talk on the mic every day on the news, right?" How many of y'all listen to me at WAKM? All right, a few of you. 9:50 a.m., okay? I will tell you what's happening, the news you can use.
Nice.
So, let's get kicked off here. First up, who am I going to pick? Oh, how about born in Minnesota? Which one do you think?
That would be me.
All right. Oh, she let you know too fast. So born in Minnesota, you were raised outside of Chicago.
Joliet.
So you're a Sox fan.
Cubs.
Cubs fans?
Did you see that game a couple years ago? Of course I'm a Cubs fan.
Okay. So then you kind of made a segue through Florida.
Yes, I lived in Florida for a bit and had my children, and then there's always been music in my life and always singing and always creating, but the writing part never happened to me until about 20 years ago. It was a year after my brother Pat had died, and that pain was so intense that it squeezed the writing out of me, and like I told you earlier, it's been like an oxygen tank ever since. So I've been
Oxygen tank.
Yeah. Like a pen to my heart. So, yeah, so it's a pleasure to be here. I'm so honored.
And, yeah.
Thanks.
Give her a round.
And it's my first time.
And it's our first time.
Come on.
We are kind
first
here.
First time here, I should say.
By the way, if you don't have your tomatoes, go ahead. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, so that's Dot Kelly. We'll talk more to Dot. She's going to tell us some interesting things in song. Next up, hailing from Livingston, Tennessee. How many of y'all know where Livingston is? All right. A few. It's out yonder. We have Jim Bowman. Good afternoon, Jim. He started writing songs, I think you said 9 years old, if I can read my handwriting. And the first song was about your lovely future wife of 50 years. Doris, is that right?
That's correct.
50 years. Wow.
Yay, that deserves
Give Doris a round of applause for being with a musician for 50 years. And he's had some cuts, some Mel Tillis and some Roy Rogers in that bio.
Roy Rogers used one of the songs that I wrote about him in his autobiography on American Movie Classics. And the night that played on American Movie Classics, 15 minutes after it went off, my phone started ringing. People wanted me to come out and do shows so they could put a face with the song they had heard. And that wound up being 10 years on the road as a singing cowboy.
Wow. Wow. And he's dressed for the occasion, ladies and gentlemen, red, white, and blue. All right, Jim, we're looking forward to hearing from you. And last up, our last victim for this evening is Lindsay. Lindsay, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing great. All the way from southeast Texas, around Houston, I think you said?
Yeah, just around there.
Houston. Well, you know, I'm actually wearing a rodeo shirt from the Houston Rodeo and Stock Show.
All right.
So, yeah, I came prepared. It was the only shirt that matched my hat as well.
Well, it matches pretty well.
Yeah, thank you. So, you moved to Nashville to be a barista?
Absolutely not. No, I moved to Nashville to pursue music. I felt like God had a really big calling on my heart to do it, and sometimes you just gotta take that leap of faith.
Absolutely. Now, you said something earlier when we were just kind of talking. So what surprised you most about moving to do music in Nashville, Tennessee?
Yeah, I think a huge thing moving here, you think, just country music. And when I moved here, I was pleasantly surprised that there was people from all walks of life and music, and it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. We have all types of music here in the Nashville, Franklin area. So the name of our show tonight is 19 Miles to Music Row. That's because we are 19 miles to Music Row. Yeah, very catchy. I was not on the committee when it was named, okay? All right, well, let's go ahead and kick off. Miss Dodd Kelly.
Oh, I'm going first?
Go first. Show us what you got. Give him a round of applause,
Okay, here
ladies
we
and
go.
gentlemen.
All right, so the first song I'm going to sing to you is I'm Gonna Stand. And it's called In Time You'll Smile Again. And writing for me, like I was telling him, singing and creating has always been a part of my life. But writing came out, it was about a year after my brother Pat had died. And I read an article where Winona Judd was thinking about writing to help her own heart heal. And I knew that night I found a refuge in how to breathe and live. And so the next morning I got up and I was getting ready for work and this song came out. And so I'm going to do something really brave. I'm going to sing it a cappella. And I'm going to sing it from my heart to yours for anyone who's lost someone. It's called In Time You'll Smile Again. They told me he wouldn't make it. His time here soon would end. I couldn't imagine life without him. I would never ever mend. You see, I grew up with my brother, with plans and dreams to fill. When he went on to heaven, my life stood completely still. Have you ever lost someone you thought you'd never lose? The heartache that you're feeling, you can't imagine ever healing. But in time, oh, in time you smile again. They gently told me what a difference the news had made. When I finally understood it, all my hope began to fade. But with faith, trust and love, we both found peace from up above. Have you ever lost someone you thought you'd never lose? The heartache that you're feeling, you can't imagine ever healing. But in time, oh, in time you smile again. And he's smiling with me. He's saying, don't be sad, 'cause I'm so glad you're moving on. Darling, it's okay, move on. His life was not in vain. He did not go through all the pain just for us to miss the point on what it's all about. I've learned to see the gifts in my life as a mother, as a wife. I'm still learning all so much from my brother up above. Have you ever lost someone you thought you never lose. The heartache that you're feeling, you can't imagine ever healing. But in time, oh, in time you smile again. Oh, in time you smile again. Thank you.
Awesome. So, like he told you a while ago, I've been making up songs since I was 9 years old. I've written hundreds of songs in my life. But until just a while back, I had never dreamed a song. This has just been a few weeks ago. I had a dream that I was co-writing with Garth Brooks. And this dream was in 3D. It was all in color. Garth was right there as close as she is right now. And he was singing his heart out. And when I woke up, it took me a few minutes to figure out what had just happened, but I ran straight to my iPad and I typed out the first 4 lines of that song because that's what I remembered Garth singing. And in the next 30 minutes, I finished this song. And Garth doesn't know it, but I co-wrote this song with Garth Brooks. All the people of the village made fun of Juan Manuel. His view of life was different. Crazy stories he would tell. If he saw a cloud up in the sky, it was not a cloud to young Juan's eyes, but a ship bound for adventure. At the helm was Juan Manuel. He'd sail that ship across the sky to fantasy where all dreams lie, where he'd fight another battle, slay a dragon or dark night. He'd pull you into his adventures as he weaved his magic tales. The hero of every story was the boy named Juan Manuel. The hero of every story was the boy named Juan Manuel. One day men came to the village, evil men bad to the bone. They meant to loot the village, they meant to make the town their own. They beat the men, abused the women, they brought fear, they made life hell. They all laughed at the stories of the boy named Juan Manuel. They laughed at the crazy stories of the boy named Juan Manuel. No one really knows what happened to those men. Every morning one of them would be found dead. As their numbers quickly dwindled, in fear the bad men fled. In the sky above, a cloud ship had set sail. Another dragon had been slain. A peaceful village now remained. No one even thought to think of Juan Manuel. He alone knew the truth, but the truth he could never tell, 'cause the hero of the story was the boy named Juan Manuel. He'd sail that ship across the sky to fantasy where all dreams lie, where he'd fight another battle, slay a dragon or dark night. He'd pull you into his adventures as he weaved his magic tales. The hero of every story was the boy named Juan Manuel. The hero of every story was the boy named Juan Manuel. Here's my disclaimer. Garth, you can have your part of that if you'll cut it.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, and this is Braxton. Earlier I mentioned why I moved here to Nashville, and this song I wrote kind of encompasses that story along the way, and this one's called Say the Word. Just a second, I need to breathe. Learn my lesson to keep my peace. Second guessing, oh no, not me. Take it as you will. I'm not standing still. I'm amazed by your secrets, and I keep them close, know you mean it, and I'm not afraid of believing you see the word. I'm my best when I'm here with you. I'm a mess when I can't see through. My emotions caught in my moods, so I won't linger there. 'Cause faith is what you dare. And I keep them close, know you mean it. And I'm not afraid of believing you see the word. The mind can become a ticking time bomb, or held by infinite love. Beware what fills it up. I'm amazed by your secrets, and I keep them close, know you mean it, and I'm not afraid of believing you see the word. Thank you.
I'm guessing I'm next. And I know you guys are probably thinking, because I'm going to sing another one a cappella, so you're thinking, this is a prop, right? But I want to tell you, just before I get started, is this has been a long time coming for me, as far as I've been singing my songs and playing my piano and in a room and a couple of loved ones, and that's about it. And so to be here tonight and see all your faces and share all of our songs is such an honor. This first song, side note, I had a dream Eric Clapton and I wrote a song, so I'm not up in Garth, but, I'm just saying. But anyways, sorry, Garth. And, but this next song I'm going to sing to you, like I said, I've been writing like a while. And this song I'm about to sing to you is called Dream. And I wrote it in 1998. My kids were out on the cul-de-sac. Life is good. Right? I'm in Nashville, I'm following my dream, I'm writing my songs. I'm having just so blessed. And I come in, turn on the TV, and there's this woman. It was Kosovo War was going on. And this woman, just like me, but she looked 100 years old, she just lost her husband and her children in war. She got her mother on her back for 3 days. And a reporter gets up in her face and he says, if you could say one thing to the world, what would you say? And I'm not kidding you guys. Her eyes met my eyes. And she said, the world knows. And when she said that, it was like from mother to mother, you know, no matter our differences, the different color skin, whatever, I felt her heart. And I thought, you know, mothers have dreams all across the country. So I connected with her and I wrote this lyric. When I finished writing the lyric, because sometimes it comes, the lyric, the melody, sometimes together. And I was like, Lord, who's going to listen to this? And he's like, in time, right? 20 years later. And then 2 years later, I got the melody while I was flying home on a plane. So all that to be said, this is called Dream. Each one of us has a dream that's been there all along. The dream inside of me has led me to this song. With the eyes of faith and the heart of gold, I know that we could live as one. Hand in hand in the power of love, we shall overcome. Oh, I have a dream, a vision I can see, that everyone, everywhere, lives a life that's free. Oh, free to be who you were born to be. Take my hand and walk with me. Oh, I have a dream. As far apart as we may seem, we must fulfill our Father's dream. We cannot afford to hate anyone, anytime, anymore. I've seen a revelation. We're going into the promised land. Together we'll walk in harmony. United we will stand. Oh, I have a dream. It's a vision I can see, that everyone all around the world lives a life that's free. Oh, free to be who you were born to be. Take my hand and walk with me. Oh, I have a dream that built our nation, a dream that opens doors, a dream for all creation to live in peace and war no more. I have a dream. It's a vision I can see, that everyone, everywhere, lives a life that's free. Oh, free to be who you were born to be. Take my hand and walk with me. Oh, I have a dream. I have a dream. Thank you. I do.
So I'm an old soul. I have been. I'm just old now, but I'm an old soul. I have been since I was a kid. I feel very privileged to have lived in a time at life when I can remember my grandparents and their way of life. My grandpa worked a 150-acre farm with a pair of mules. He never had a tractor. My grandma would put 3 meals a day on the table with a wood stove. She never had an electric stove or a gas stove. And now, all these years later, I've got grandbabies and great-grandbabies, and I've watched the coming of AI and all the supercomputers and everything, so I've seen a whole spectrum of things, but I'm still an old soul. The other day I was writing, and I wrote this song, and I really like it. This is one of my favorite songs I've written in a long time. It's called the Whippoorwill Song. I remember a song drifting all through the mountains, such a lonesome sound. whippoorwill all alone, searching to find this lost love companion. They tell me now the whippoorwills are gone. The world keeps changing, time marches on. Some say for the better, I think they might be wrong. The old ways were hard, the work days were long, but the old folks were tough, and their faith was strong. As a boy I ran all through these mountains like a young wild deer. The trees knew my name. I swam the creeks, explored the woodlands. Oh, I miss those days, but nothing stays the same. The world keeps changing, time marches on. Some say for the better, I think they could be wrong. The old days were hard, the work days were long, but the old folks were tough, and their faith was strong. That whole way of life is now gone forever. The folks who were there have mostly moved on. The front porch is empty, a ghostly reminder of where they once gathered for the whippoorwill song. The world keeps changing, time marches on. Some say for the better, I think they could be wrong. The old ways were hard, the work days were long, but the old folks were tough, and their faith was strong. What the world needs now is a whippoorwill song.
This next song I'll be singing is called Awake. I feel like for most of my life I walked around asleep with my eyes closed, and when I found God, He truly opened my eyes, and now I write through everything I go through, and I hope that can help others see the day and not see the night. There's a story that's written down, tales of a victory in battle sounds. Speak to the wind, bring peace to this fight. Noise all around, no silence inside. shimmering armor, no backing down. Here in your love, I found peace of mind. Life all around, no fears left inside. I see everything, I see everything now that I'm awake. Hearts beat more loudly, mouths change their tune. I see more clearly when veils are removed. I see everything, I see everything now that I'm awake. Ooh.
Yay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Lindsay. Thank you. Okay, it's our last round. You know what that means. I'm going to play the piano in front of you. And I don't play like him. Okay, let's just get that clear.
I don't play piano at all.
Praise God. Well, and the way I started playing the piano is I would write songs and sing it, and they'd go, "Do you play?" And I was like, "No, but someday," because I'm like a recovering dyslexic, so it'd have to be God. And then some guy was trying to win the heart of my son to date me, and he dropped off a keyboard player at the house, right? So it's a Friday night, and I'm home alone, which is so wrong. And I look at the keyboard, and it looked at me, and I sat down, and I wrote my first song, and I've been just writing ever since on it privately. So since we're all such really good friends, and I have people who love me here, I'm going to do this. So should I do today as the day, or what if? Maria? What if? I think I'm going to switch it up. I wish I could sing 5,000 songs, but we can't. There was this little girl I knew of. It was like 3 in the morning, and I woke up with her on my heart. She was just going through such a hard time, you know. And I got up, and I was like, "Lord, what can we do for her? You know, we need a miracle for her." And I wrote this song. So if you need a miracle tonight, the Lord is faithful. What if I asked you for a miracle now? What if I asked you to show me how to break through this big old wall standing in my way? As God as my witness, I heard Him say, every mountain in your way will crumble at my name. The way I loved you way back then, my love is still the same.
people out there needing things that only we can give. Let's put down all our differences and live the way He lives. People out there needing things that only we can give. Let's put down all our differences and love the way He loves. What if I asked you for a miracle now?
I did it. And He does do miracles every day. Praise God. Thank you.
All right, this final song I'm going to be sharing tonight is about a time in my life where I was going through some hardships, and in the moment I forgot that God can heal and can do all things possible. And this is kind of like an inside thought of, what was going in my mind during those times. And this one's called How Could I?
How could I see the mountain in the way and be afraid, as if you've not overcame every stronghold, every struggle I could face from day to day? How could I? How could I? Jesus, with you, freedom is my claim. Jesus, with you, now I know my name. No more shame, no more guilt. You are healing what's concealed. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. There's a hope. What's unseen and what's been said through the fire, I know you won't leave me for dead. Every promise, every season, you are constant, I'll keep believing. Jesus, with you, freedom is my claim. Jesus, with you, now I know my name. No more shame, no more guilt. You are healing what's concealed. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I called, you came, you stepped in, everything changed. One voice, one name, I give it all to know you, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I called, you came, you stepped in, everything changed. One voice, one name, I give it all to know you, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, with you, freedom is my claim. With you, Jesus,
now I know my name, and no more shame, no more guilt. You are healing what's concealed. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I called, you came. You stepped in, everything changed.
Say amen to that. I have to say amen to that, but I keep talking about when I was younger. First of all, I want to thank the folks at 19 Miles for bringing us out tonight, and you all for the love that you've shown us here. But I've been doing this for a long time. If you remember when Opryland came to town, I worked the first 2 seasons at Opryland USA. They had built Roy Acuff a home out there, and we would always run into Roy out on the sidewalks there, and I don't remember what my first conversation with him was about, but I do remember that one day I told him about a hobby that I had of collecting memorabilia from all the stars I was meeting at Opryland. And we went our separate ways. A few days later, there came an announcement over the Opryland intercom, said, "Jim Bowman, please report to the employees' cafeteria." So I headed over there not knowing if I'd done something wrong, if I was in trouble or what. But when I got to the front door, the lady said, "There's some people back there in the corner waiting to see you." So I went back there, and there was Roy Acuff, Bashful Brother Oswald, and Charlie Collins, the Smoky Mountain Boys. And Roy said, "Sit down, son, I'm gonna buy your lunch." Now think about a young man who's in Nashville trying to make it in the music business, and the king of country music is buying my lunch. So we ate, made small talk, and when we got finished, he reached into his pocket and he pulled out a yo-yo. And he said, "I was thinking about that memorabilia collection of yours." He said, "I was thinking of something I could give you, and I wanted to give you this." And he said, "I've used this several times on the stage of the Opry, so it's something for you to put in your collection." And when I reached to get it, he said, "I gave Dick Nixon one of those when he came to the White House to the Opry to play." So that made it, that much better. But I told Roy, I said, if I ever get the opportunity to play the Opry, I promise you I'll spin this yo-yo. That hasn't happened yet, but it's still on my bucket list.
There you go.
A lot of years later, I walked into my living room one day and turned on the morning news, and the first thing I heard was the king of country music passed away last night of congestive heart failure. And what songwriters do when they feel the kind of pain that you feel at a time like that, they write songs. I reached and got my guitar, and just like that yo-yo, if I ever get a chance to play the Grand Ole Opry, I promise you this is the song I'll play. That old train came to get him on a Monday in November. Wabash Cannonball had to make one final run. The king of country music was going to hillbilly heaven. She was smoking in all her glory as she rode on past the sun. My daddy took me one time to see the Grand Ole Opry. I'll never forget that feeling when Mr. Acuff took the stage. With that fiddle in his hand, I could tell that he was royalty. The king of country music was writing history, another page. He'd sing those mountain songs like the great speckled bird. Wreck on the highway, Lord. All over this great land, radios were tuning in. It was Saturday night in Nashville, we could tell when we heard him. The king of country music was on his throne again. For over 40 years, he reigned in all his glory. A friend to country music, he lived his life through those songs. Now the folks down at the Opry will carry on your tradition. Mr. Acuff, we're gonna miss you, but your music will live on. Sometimes at night, I close my eyes, I can hear that announcer say, this is heaven's grand ole opry, Mr. A Cup's about to play. With the angels in the background, Hank and Lefty sing along. It's a King's Command performance, country music at God's throne. The King of country music has found the light, and now he's home. That old train came to get him on a Monday in November. The Wabash Cannonball had to make one final run. The king of country music was going to hillbilly heaven. She was smoking in all her glory as she rode on past the sun. That old train came to get him on a Monday in November.
Wow, guys. Was that amazing or what?
Oh, shucks. That's nice.
So, we're going to have a little quiz here. Dot Kelly was born in Minnesota.
Correct.
All right.
I was there like 2 weeks, though.
Do you have a website? How can you find you?
.kelly.org. It's D-O-T, like my name, K-E-L-L-Y.org. Or, I'm on like Facebook and Instagram. But it sounds so needy to be like, follow me and retweet me and like me, but do. It's all that social media stuff. And I'm there, so I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
All right, Mr. Livingston, all the way from the big city. All right. So started writing at 9 years old. You wrote, this one just still pops out at me, that you wrote your first song about your future wife, who you're still married to 50 years later. I mean, give him another round of applause.
I carved her name on a tree 2 weeks after I first saw her. We were 9 years old. But she was riding this pony. It was the prettiest pony you ever saw in your life.
I've heard of puppy love, not pony love. All right, so now, Jim, you do have some stuff back in the back, right? You've got a book?
Those stories I was telling you, I have a book called How Not to Make It in the Music Business. And all those stories and a lot more are in that book on the table back there. And some of my cowboy CDs that I did when I was singing cowboy and some other stuff. So appreciate anything you can do there.
You can also check him out at jimbowmanmusic.com. Or you've got a Facebook page, right?
Cumberland Mountain Songcrafters.
All right. Give Jim another round of applause. Thank him for coming out. And last but not least, Braxton on piano.
He did great.
Now, did I hear you're 16? Is that right?
Oh
Wow, 16 years old. Stand up. Well, Braxton, thank you for being here and playing for the immaculate Lindsay. All the way from Texas, moved here 2 years. You said 2 years ago this month, right?
2 years ago, July.
Wow.
Month.
Well, you need to get Jim's book so you know what not to do in the music industry.
Noted.
I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you what not to do.
What not to do. There we go. So now, Lindsay, do you have Tic-Tac? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I have Tic-Tac. That's what I have.
So she told me it's at Lindsay Rocks with 2 S's.
Yeah.
All right. And you've got a website, lindsayrocks.com with 1 S. And you've got some T-shirts and hats and...
I do. I have that, and I have some journals back there as well.
All right. Well, again, thank you all for being here at 19 Miles. We really appreciate you. You as well, Braxton. We're going to take a very short intermission, do a little sound check-in. I believe we've got some food in the back. But first, I wanted to tell you, do y'all know something that's coming up in September? Y'all want to know a secret? Okay. Well, Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. You got a little brochure, right? I want you to look at that. A High Lonesome Bluegrass Mass with composer and former Franklin First United Methodist member Tim Sharp, the Grateful Bluegrass Band with others, and our chancel choir will be here September 30th at Historic Sanctuary. How many of y'all know where the Historic Sanctuary is? All right. I'm there every Sunday morning running sound, so if Pastor Carlisle sounds like God really got the Spirit, it's because I hit the echo. But tickets are only $10, and now let me tell you, here is the kicker, okay? You need to get your tickets as soon as possible because it will sell out. It will definitely sell out. There's only about 300 seats. It's only $10. Go ahead. There's a QR code right there on your little flyer. Scan it. If you have any issues with that, call the church office, and Jody will help you personally with that, okay? We also want to thank Randy, our sound guy, and Liam. Give them a round of applause, making everyone sound good. Adding that little extra fleck to it. And stick around. Go ahead and go buy all of their merch. Make them not take anything home tonight, okay? Give them a little extra money in their pocket for gas. And then stick around for Mr. Billy Montana, right here at 19 Miles.
All right. Thank you.
That's fine. I broke my ankle while back there. That's trouble. No, I'm good.
think not. If he does, I'll grab it for him. We can ask him. Would you care for a music stand? Great. Thank you. Good man. What do you like setup wise? Yep. You're gonna use the box? All right. Yeah. I use a TC Helicon a lot, but that was way better. Yeah. So this gives it just a second. I bet it's a version of that. It's not the full pedal. That's
Yeah, I think that's good. I think so. Check one, check. Now that you got some of that low end out, can you give me just a hair more level? Just an axe, just a little bit. People say this is only in my head. Check one, check. That might be. Maybe the vocal's just a hair hot for me. Check one, check. I think so, brother. Thank you, sir. What?
How you feel? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 19 Miles. We are back live here at Franklin First United Methodist Church. I don't get to say live very often, so remember, I work at the radio, so y'all have to respond to me. Are y'all here? Well, this next guy, don't tell anyone, but he's a little bit nervous. Have you played the guitar before?
One time.
One time.
This is my second time.
He's only been in Nashville about 35 years or so.
Almost, yes.
He's had a couple of record deals. Well,
Lost them.
We know what those are, mortgages. What not to do in the music industry, right?
Exactly. I could write a book.
But in all seriousness,
Oh, I thought that was in all
whoa!
seriousness. Oh.
In all seriousness, I just heard music all of a sudden, and the church got quiet. So you've written some songs that have been on the radio.
Yes, that's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
You like to eat.
Yes.
You like to buy the chicken for the green egg.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is why I smell like green egg smoke right now.
Well, great. Well, we are so excited to have with us tonight, truly a legend. You've got hits with Garth Brooks, Lee Brice, Sarah Evans. Now, that one is one of my favorite songs of all times, I must say.
Thank you, Ronnie.
I do the laundry at home, so.
It's actually one of my favorite songs now, too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good. All right. We could go on and on all night, but do y'all want to hear some music? All right. Without further ado, Ronnie Leftwich. You give me a mic. What are you gonna do? Is there anything else I was supposed to say?
I think you covered it. You did
All
a
right.
good job.
Thanks for helping me out.
You did a good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can check him out on all socials, on Spotify, the biggest hit records of all time, Mr. Billy Montana.
Ronnie Leftwich, y'all. Thank you. Wow, he's awesome. I feel like I've known you my whole life, Ronnie. Thank you guys for being here tonight. This is a very special night for me, 19 miles to Music Row. The last time I played this show, I was with my buddy Kyle Jacobs, and we sat up here and performed, and Kyle went to be full-time with the Lord in February, and so Jody Todd reached out to me and said, because of my association with Kyle, his parents are here tonight. Sherry and Reed Jacobs are here tonight and attend this church. And Jody thought it might be a cool thing on the 4th of July, celebrating America's birthday, and Kyle being fiercely patriotic like he is, might be cool for me to come and do this 4th of July night. So I am going to dedicate this whole evening to my brother in Christ, my brother in music, and my brother in arms, Kyle Jacobs. This is your night, brother. Well, we are, I'm really glad that y'all came out to spend some time with us, and we're going to cut you loose in time to see the City of Franklin fireworks. I believe are like really close by, that we can just post up in the parking lot and enjoy the festivities out there. So I'm going to just play you some songs and tell you some stories. Does that work for you? Awesome. I'm going to start with a song that, so on your iPhone, you have a setting, and it's called Night Shift, and it's where the phone goes dark around, gets a little dim around 10 p.m., and then it brightens back up at 7 a.m. And so I saw that on my iPhone, and I was like, Night Shift, okay, that's a cool setting, but it's a cooler title for a song. And so I put it in my notes in my phone to take into a write, because I like to start songs with a title usually. And so I went in to write with Topher Brown and Philip LaRue, and Topher had this track worked up, and what we do is we just kind of bounce ideas around, in the writer's room, and we're like, man, what do you feel like today? And I said, I got this title that would go great with this track that Topher's working on called Night Shift. And Topher said, dude, I have that same title in my phone. And Philip was like, well, if we don't write that, we're crazy, because that is just good karma. So we wrote this song, and then you have to figure out who's going to sing the demo. And my son Randy is a great singer-songwriter. He had a record deal on Mercury Records about 10 years ago. And Topher says, why don't we hire your son to sing the demo? And I'm like, that's awesome. That's a great idea, Topher. I love that guy's voice. And so we hired my son, and he sang the demo. We gave him $150 or whatever it was to sing the demo. Well, then a guy named John Party heard the song, and he recorded it and put it on a record, and then he put it out as a single. And as the song started to work its way up the chart, I began to experience a little bit of that parental guilt that I was going to make a lot more money than the $150 I paid my kid to sing the song. So when it broke into the top 10, I said to Randy, I said, buddy, if this song goes to #1, I will buy you a boat. Thank goodness it died at #4. It's called Night Shift. It's 60 plus from dawn to dusk in the red dirt heat. Busting it up for a couple of bucks, but it ain't no thing. Just another day till I'm on my way to them cool, cool sheets. And you and me working on the night shift, baby. Dying for your touch like crazy. Racking up the overtime hours, loving how we're working on the night shift, baby. We gonna rock this right? No need to talk, I know what you want and what you like. Hey, I do too. And I love how you leave on the light. Not a thing between you and me, and it feels real nice when you and I are working on the night shift, baby. Dying for your touch like crazy. Racking up the overtime hours, loving how we're working on the night shift, baby. Been a wreck, me weak. Ah, but who needs sleep? When we're working on the night shift, baby. Dying for your touch like crazy. Racking up the overtime hours, loving how we're working on the night shift, baby. I love how we're working on the night shift. I love how we're working on the night shift. Working on the night shift, baby. Thank you very much. So when Ronnie and I were talking, you know, I really do try to write songs for famous people to sing. And one thing about my buddy Kyle Jacobs, he was an amazing facilitator. He brought people together. He begged me for years to go on these things called writing retreats. First time I told my wife I was going on a writing retreat, she was just like, oh, okay, all right. All right. I know about those little retreats, you know. I know what goes on there, drinking, debauchery, wildness, craziness. And I was like, yeah, but we write songs too. And so I've been writing songs with a great singer-songwriter on Curb Records named Lee Bryce. And Lee and Kyle were best buddies and co-producers and co-writers. And so this was a retreat that Kyle convinced me to go on. And Lee assembled a bunch of guys in Rosemary Beach, Florida, and we were staying in a house. And I was inside the living room. One of the cool things about a writing retreat is one, you have the artist present. So Lee was outside writing a song with Kyle. I was inside with Ben Glover and John Ozier. And you can write until all hours in the morning if you want to. You can watch the sun come up if you feel like it. But this was kind of an early song. This was about 9 o'clock at night, I guess. And Ben and John and I are working on this. And Lee and Kyle were passing through the living room. And they were like, man, play us what you guys are working on. And so we played them what we had on this song. And man, they looked at each other. And they were like, I think we're going to record that song. And about 3 weeks later, they took it in the studio. And it ended up being a number one single for Lee, and it also was the title cut of his second record. And they tell us as writers, you know, to write what we know. And so I'm a dude. I know I'm hard to love. And so that's what this song is about, being hard to love. Sometimes I drink too much. Sometimes I test your trust. Sometimes I don't know why you stay with me. I'm hard to love, hard to love. I don't make it easy. I couldn't do it if I stood where you stood. Hard to love, hard to love. You say that you need me. Well, I don't deserve it, but I love that you love me good. I am a short fuse, I am a wrecking ball, crashing into your heart like I do. You're like a Sunday morning, full of grace and full of Jesus. I wish that I could be more like you, but I'm hard to love, hard to love. I don't make it easy. I couldn't do it if I stood where you stood. Hard to love, hard to love. You say that you need me. I don't deserve it, but I love that you love me good. You love me good. Girl, you're giving me a million second chances. I don't ever wanna take you for granted. I'm just a man. I'm just a man. Hard to love, hard to love. Hard to love, hard to love. I'm hard to love, hard to love. I don't make it easy. I couldn't do it if I stood where you stood. Hard to love, hard to love. You say that you need me. Well, I don't deserve it, but I love that you love me good. I don't make it easy. I couldn't do it if I stood where you stood. Hard to love, hard to love. You say that you need me. Well, I don't deserve it, but I love that you love me good. You love me good. Girl, you love me good. Thanks. So, how many country music fans out there tonight? Awesome. Awesome. You other guys are all right too. It's just that I know they'll know some of these songs. I'm going to stay on the Lee Brice train because he had a hit with this song about a year and a half ago, and I'm going to talk a lot about Kyle tonight. But I've dedicated this show to him, and he has been such an integral part of my career in making music, and also his friendship. Got to do some really awesome things. Went on a USO tour with him. We hit 5 countries in 6 days. I think Kyle and I think his wife Kelly had been on 11, and Kyle had been on 9 USO tours supporting our troops. So definitely had a heart for the military. And he included me and another songwriter named Brett James. And like I said, we went to Italy and Djibouti and Bahrain and Afghanistan and Germany in the span of 6 days. And what a life-changing experience that was. So Kyle co-produced this with Ben Glover, another one of our close friends, and Lee Brice. And this song was, Brian Davis and Lee, so I mentioned I get to go on writing retreats, but even better than that, sometimes I get to go on tour buses with the recording artists. And Lee, I've been writing songs with for probably over 20 years now. And so I was on this bus with Brian Davis, and they had this chorus. And they were like, would you want to get in on this chorus? And I'm like, are you kidding me? If you let me in on that chorus, I promise I'm going to bring the heat for the verses. I promise. I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring the best I got. So they were over in the corner of the bus, noodling on some, musical thing and all that. And I'm sitting there with my MacBook, and I'm like, man. So then I said, hey, what about this? Red leaves on the river, footprints in the sand, cold walk in December, warming up your hands. And Lee just got this look in his eyes. And he took this guitar out of my hands, and he sang it back to me. And I was like, oh, man, I think we got something. And so he went on to record this song, and about a year and a half ago, it went to number 1. It's called Memory I Don't Mess With. Red leaves on the river, footprints in the sand, cold walk in December, warming up your hands. Sundress on the front steps, sun up by the lake, blanket down in the backyard, lying wide awake. Well, that's a memory I don't mess with, the girl I was the best with. The one I was obsessed with, girl, you just don't get it. I'd fall right back with one slip, always leaves me helpless. Don't hate me, I can't help it. Gotta leave us where we left it. Your memory I don't mess with. Moonlight on the backseat, breeze through the wires, Springsteen on the speakers, girl, I'm on fire. Well, that's stuff I don't think about, 'cause it still kills me now. Still can't dance around that memory I don't mess with, the girl I was the best with, the one I was obsessed with, girl, you just don't get it. I'd fall right back with one slip, always leaves me helpless. Don't hate me, I can't help it. Gotta leave us where we left it. Your memory I don't mess with. It's good running into you like this. Girl, I'm as close as I can get to a memory I don't mess with, the girl I was the best with, the one I was obsessed with, girl, you just don't get it. I'd fall right back with one slip, always leaves me helpless. Don't hate me, I can't help it. Gotta leave us where we left it. Your memory I don't mess with. Red leaves on the river, footprints in the sand, cold walk in December, warming up your hands. Thank you very much. So, what a nice job First United, Franklin First does on 19, huh? And Jim and Dot and Lindsay, what a lovely job they did. I got to hear them backstage. So I talked about my son Randy a little bit, and he has gone on to, he could buy me a boat now, all right? Because like he wrote songs like Beer Never Broke My Heart, Pretty Heart, Better Together. We Didn't Have Much. I Hope You're Happy Now. Little songs like that. Anyway, before he did all that, he would write with me. And no, I'm just kidding. We still write. We wrote 2 weeks ago. But I'm really proud of him, obviously. But so I was like, I could tell he had something when we started writing songs together, because this is a song that is just the two of us, and we wrote it in the family room of our house. And so I was like, we were going to a wedding, and my wife was riding shotgun, and my middle son, Charlie, who never amounted to anything, he's like a pediatric oncologist or something. I don't even understand. I mean, what is that? Good Lord. Anyway, I guess everybody has to follow their calling, So anyway, Charlie and Donna were riding with me down to Donna's and my nephew's wedding in Tampa, Florida, driving from Nashville. And I'm a big Bob Dylan fan. And so the whole way down, I was trying to get them on the Bob Dylan train with me. I was trying to explain to them what it was I loved about Bob. So I was putting these, they're silver discs. They're about that big around. They're called, there was music information on there, something, I don't know. But you would put them into this little, kind of like a toaster, I guess, and then music would come out. It was awesome. But anyway, they could not get past Bob's voice. And I'm like, all right, but man, so in the midst of that failed attempt to convince my wife and my middle son that Dylan had something to say, he was singing a song called It's Not Dark Yet, and he sang, I've been to London, I have been to gay Paris, I followed the river, I got to the sea. And I was like, oh, that is sick, man. I said to Donna, write that down. She's like, write what down? I said, you follow the river, you come to the sea. She's like, whatever. And anyway, I brought that idea up with Randy, and I said, dude, what do you think about this idea? Like, it's just sort of like means like one thing follows another, He's like, Dad, I love it. And so I said, sort of like, this is when I knew Randy had a gift. I said, sort of like you follow the rainbow, you come to the gold. He says, you follow that North Star, you're going to get cold. I was like, here we go. Can I have your publishing? I'm just kidding. I never said that. But I thought no one would ever record this song because it breaks all the rules of songwriting. It only says the hook twice, I think, in the whole song. There's not a real chorus. It breaks all the commercial rules. But a rock group called Sister Hazel loved it, and they recorded it about 3 years ago. So we got a rock and roll cut out of this one. It's called You Follow the River. The rainbow, you come to the goal, you follow that North Star, you're gonna get cold. You follow the river, you come to the sea, and you follow your heart, babe, it'll lead you to me. You follow your shadow, you come to yourself. Follow the devil, well, you wind up in hell. You follow the good book, it'll bring you to peace. And you follow your heart, babe, it'll lead you to me. Baby, it ain't magic, and it ain't no mystery. It's like dust up in get where you're going, you follow the signs. And if you follow the leader, well, you're always behind. To feel like you're living, you gotta follow your dreams. And you follow your heart, babe, it'll lead you to me. Yes, it will. How it's supposed to be. You follow the rainbow, you come to the goal. You follow that North Star, you're gonna get cold. You follow the river, you come to the sea, and you follow your heart, babe, it'll lead you to me. Follow your heart, babe. It'll lead you to me. Yes, it will. Thanks. So where y'all from? One at a time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Wow. You crushed that. Man. I have no response to that. That was a good answer. Well, you know, it is the 4th of July, Independence Day. Nothing says America like John Wayne. Am I right? Okay. That's right, Pilgrim. I brought John Wayne up because I'm going to play a song that I got to write with his granddaughter. I know, right? That's what I thought. I was on another one of those retreats. Not very far from Nashville, though. We were only about an hour and a half east of here. And so Jennifer Wayne is in a trio called Runaway June. And they were the artists that we had captive, so that we had their full attention for 2 straight days. And my first write was with a guy named Justin Lance, who I'd never met before, and Jennifer Wayne, whom I had never met before. I hadn't heard anything about Justin, but I heard great things about Jennifer, that she was an amazingly talented person, an amazing person, and it was all true. And then some. She exceeded my expectations. But so anyway, we're what you do is you kind of get to know each other, break the ice, and kind of find common ground or whatever. And so the 3 of us are in this writing room, and you know, it's kind of a hotel. I don't know what you call it, but anyway. So then Jennifer, after we are hanging out for a little bit, Jen says, "I got this idea for a song." Well, Justin and I are like, "Awesome! What do you think?" And she says, "Well, we call it Wild West." And then Justin and I were like, "Ooh, where would John Wayne's granddaughter get an idea like Wild West?" Wow, where'd you come up with that, Jen? And we kind of were picking on her a little bit, you know, and she goes, no, this would be like we would write like the girl saying to the guy, love me like the Wild West, and then we would do these metaphors, these images of what that was like. I was like, that is a killer idea. We're going to write that. I love it. And so before we started writing, Jennifer was like, it'd be awesome if we could put my granddad in this song. And we were like, it is a love song, Jen. That's creepy. But then I was like, you know what? Let's figure this out. I think we can probably do this, all right? So we got this song, and they put it out as a single. And I'm going to sing the male version. So I'm not going to sing Come On Boy, Be My Cowboy right now, but... Oh, one other thing I'll say, I'm kind of long-winded on this one, but it was really fun, right? And I said, hey, I've heard Wild West, and I've heard Wild, Wild West. Let's go for Wild, Wild, Wild West. And Jen and Justin were like, okay. It was really funny. It was like, but then they were like, oh, yeah, I'll get it now. Baby, let me steal your heart like Jesse James and come in guns blazing just like old. That's right. It's my chance to save the girl. I better take it before it's gone, so you better get your boots on and let me love you like the wild, wild, wild West. I'll ride us off in the sunset, outlaws making a run forever. Come on, girl, be my cowgirl, keep you by my side all night, hold you tight like a pearl handle 45, closer than the whiskey on my breath. Let me love you like the wild, wild, wild West. Us feel like we jumped a train to Santa Fe, just like we're desperados making our getaway. And we could hide away on some prairie underneath a blanket of stars. You can get lost in my arms. Let me love you like the wild, wild, wild West. I'll ride us off in the sunset, outlaws making a run forever. Come on, girl, be my cowgirl, keep you by my side all night, hold you tight like a pearl handle 45, closer than whiskey on my breath. I love you like the wild, wild, wild West. Let me love you like the wild, wild, wild West. Let me love you like the wild, wild, wild West. Let me love you like the wild, wild, wild West. I'll ride us off in the sunset, outlaws making a run forever. Come on, girl, be my cowgirl, keep you by my side all night, hold you tight like a pearl handle 45, closer than whiskey on my breath. Let me love you like the wild, wild, wild West. Let me love you like the wild, wild, wild West. Baby, let me steal your heart like Jesse James and go out guns blazing just like old. That's right. Man, y'all sing real good. That's all I'm going to ask you to do. That's all the singing you have to do tonight. Unless you want to sing something else, then you can sing that too. So I'm going to play a song that Lee and Kyle Jacobs came to me with back in 2007. And they had the title. I told you I like starting with a title, right? So they came up to me after a writer's meeting, and it was really cool because they knew they had something special. And so the look on their face when they were like, hey, we've got this idea, and we think you're the guy to write this song with us. And I was like, what are you calling it? And they said, More Than a Memory. And I was like, well, dang. I love that title. I mean, I already know what the song's about. She's not just a memory, she's more than a memory. And they're like, exactly. So with a title like that, all you got to do is keep the train on the tracks, man. Don't, just keep it between the ditches. And so we went across the street to the writer's room, and the three of us worked on this tune. They had a lot of the melody going, and they're again looking for lyrical assistance and verses and polishing up choruses and stuff. And this came from a real place in Lee's life where he had a college relationship that took him forever to get over, and that's where he got the idea for this song. But when I was here playing 2 years ago with Kyle, we traded verses on this, but he won't mind if I sing the song. We got to hang out with a guy named Garth Brooks after Garth recorded this song, and it went to #1 in 1 week. It's the only song in country music history to debut at #1 on the chart. And Lee and Kyle and I got to enjoy going to the #1 party and hanging out with my new best friend, Garth Brooks. And I tell the story that Garth invited us to the studio because he's such a great songwriter. He knew that Lee and Kyle and I would love, to get the behind the scenes thing. So he invited us to Jack's Tracks to hear what the studio where they'd made all of his records. And so there he is, showing us around. And he says, this is the piano we played the dance on. And I was like, that's really cool, Garth. And then he said, the drummer was the MVP of the session. Like, he came up with this pattern that sounds like a loop, but it's not a loop, it's real drums. And we're like, that's really cool, Garth. Then he sits us down at the console, and he's just getting ready to push play, and he says, if there's anything you hear on here that you don't like, just let me know. And I don't know what KJ was thinking, but in my mind, I'm going, that is totally going to happen. I'm going to be so aggravated at what Garth has done with our song. I'm going to speak up about it. Anyway, when he pushed play, turns out I was wrong. I got weak in the knees. It was so amazing to hear his voice on it. I was sitting down and got weak in the knees. That's how bad it was. So, or good, I guess. So I'm going to play it for you now. And I can't sing like Garth Brooks, and I can't sing like Lee Bryce, and I can't sing like Kyle Jacobs. But you're stuck with me tonight, 19 miles to Music Row. So here it goes. Thank you. People say she's only in my head. It's gonna take time, but I'll forget. They say I need to get on with my life. What they don't realize is when you're dialing 6 numbers just to hang up the phone, driving across town to see if she's home. waking a friend in the dead of the night, just to hear him say it'll be alright. When you're finding things to do to not fall asleep, 'cause you know she'll be there in your dreams. That's when she's more than a memory. Took a match to everything she ever wrote, watched her words go up in smoke, tore all her pictures off the walls. That ain't helping me at all. 'Cause when you're talking out loud and nobody's there, when you look like hell and you just don't care, when you're drinking more than you ever drank, sinking down lower than you ever sank, when you find yourself falling down on your knees and praying to God, begging him please, that's when she's more than a memory. Yeah, well, she's more than a memory. She's more. When you're dialing her number just to hang up the phone and driving across town to see if she's home, waking a friend in the dead of the night just to hear him say it'll be alright. When you're finding things to do to not fall asleep, 'cause you know she's waiting in your dreams. That's when she's more than a memory. People say she's only in my head. It's gonna take time, but I'll forget. Thank you very much. Kyle Jacobs, Lee Bryce. It's time for me to put on my retainer. I have an overbite. Orthodontist says every night at 8:19, put your retainer on. Okay. Trying to think of what I'm going to play. I'm going to do this one that, you know, people ask all the time, do you have a favorite song? And you don't really. I mean, there's songs that maybe, I don't know. It's just hard, you know. They're all your babies. To some degree, but this one stands out to me as being one that I don't play very often. Martina McBride recorded this song. It never was a hit, but it was on an album that she put out in 2007. And I think what I love about this song, a couple things. One, I feel like, you know, I can usually, you know, typically we can knock a song out in 5 hours. This song took like 13 months for me. And it wasn't like it's the only song I was working on, but it was, I got the music with my buddy Ilya Tashinsky. And yes, you heard me correctly. I thought you were going to say God bless you. But then I wanted a really special title to go with it. And so it took a long time to come up with the title. And finally I came up with this title called House of a Thousand Dreams that I brought to another friend of mine, Janai. And she was like, I love it. We're going to write it. And so I think that was one thing, is that it was a labor of love. But the second thing was it is the closest thing that depicts the house in Antioch that we moved into in 1991, Super Bowl Sunday. 3 very young children, and my wife of almost 41 years now. And that house created so many amazing memories for us. And I recognized that, we were in that house for 14 years, and just so much happens, like so much growth, and so many friendships. And anyway, I think that's what I love about this song. So you can find it on the interweb. Martina put it out a long time ago, but I'm going to play. It's called House of a Thousand Dreams. First verse is the daddy, husband. Second verse is the mama and the mother. Third verse is their youngin'. Well, he says, I'm just a man. I work with my hands, but lately no work has been around. I wish that I could put more on the table, provide the life I'm sure my family dreams about. But there's cracks in all the walls and all the windows, and the flies, they find their way in through the screens. I just hope that hope can go on living in this house of a thousand dreams. And his wife says, my husband's a good man. He gives all that he can, and I know he thinks he's let me down. But I just want him and the children to be happy. It's not always easy, but it's all I dream about. So I'll find some yard sale curtains for the windows, and I'll sew some yellow trim along the seams, and I'll keep praying hope will go on living in this house of a thousand dreams. And their boy says, my daddy's a strong man, and my mama, she loves him, and they love my brother and sister and me. And sometimes at night we'll lay out in the backyard, we'll take turns wishing on the first star we see. And the crickets always sing outside the windows, and I love to feel the wind blow through the screens. I sure hope that we can live forever in this house of a thousand dreams. Yeah, I sure hope that we can live forever in this house of a thousand dreams. Thank you very much. I'm gonna keep this on and do a song that was a hit for Sarah Evans back in a long time ago. And it spent 2 weeks at #1 on the country chart in 2004. It was the most played song by a country female that year. It was a big hit. And just a few years later, Kyle's wife Kelly was on American Idol, and she sang this song on American Idol. Now, American Idol at the time was the most popular show in America. I think in part due to Simon Cowell. Do you remember Simon Cowell? What can you tell me about Simon Cowell? Yes, whatever you said, that was it. Yeah, he wasn't very kind. And so we weren't watching the show, but a friend had called and said, hey, Kelly Pickler's singing your song on American Idol. And I got very excited. It was the most popular show in America. I grabbed the remote, I turned on the television set, I'm scrolling through the channels. I finally found it. I never heard one note of my song. I got there just in time to hear old Simon Cowell say, of all the songs you could have selected, you chose some gimmicky rodeoing, lassoing, soap suds in the bucket song. And I'm like hollering at the television and said, I wrote that song. Ironically, I was standing in the living room of the house that the song had bought for me, so I didn't care what Simon Cowell felt like at that point, right? Take that, Simon. This is where y'all can sing if you want to. I mean, you can sing anytime, but you might know this one. It's called Suds in the Bucket. Well, now she was in the backyard, say it was a little past 9 when her prince pulled up, white pickup truck. Her folks should have seen it coming, it was only just a matter of time. Plenty old enough, and you can't stop love. She stuck a note on the screen door, sorry but I got to go. That was all she wrote. Her mama's heart was broke. That was all she wrote. So the story goes. Now her daddy's in the kitchen staring out the window, scratching and racking his brain. I got 18 years just up and walk away. Our little ponytail girl growed up to be a woman. She's gone in the blink of an eye. Everybody now, she left the suds. Okay, all right, we're gonna have to do better than that, 19 miles. Well, don't you wonder what the preacher gonna preach about Sunday morning? Nothing quite like this has happened here before. Yes, he must have been a looker, smooth talking son of a gun, for such a grounded girl to just up and run. Of course you can't fence time, and you can't stop love. All the biddies in the beauty shop gossip going non-stop, sipping on pink lemonade. I got 18 years just up and walk away. Hey, their little ponytail girl growed up to be a woman. She's gone in the blink of an eye. Help me out. She left the suds. That's more like it. That's what I'm talking about. She got her pretty little bare feet hanging out the window. She's heading up to face tonight. I got 18 years is up and walk away. The little ponytail girl growed up to be a woman. She's gone in the blink of an eye. Last chance, she left the suds in the bucket. Oh, that's so good. One more last chance. She left the suds. You sound so good. Well, she was in the backyard. Say it was a little past 9 when her prince pulled up. White pickup truck, plenty old enough. And you can't stop love. No, you can't fence time. And you can't stop love. Y'all were awesome. Thank you.
Wow. You played it for me. You played it for me.
Is that what you wanted?
That's what I wanted. You nailed it. Billy Montana, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. You were awesome.
Well, now, Billy,
Ronnie?
we got something special for you. But before we get there, I know, you were really close to Kyle. Do you maybe have one of your favorite, just a chorus of one that you wrote with Kyle? Just to honor Kyle. And
100%.
yeah, I thought you did.
I want to... let's see. We wrote this song with Eli Young Band. Honestly, I think it was the whole band. And let's see. It's called Prayer for the Road. And I have a feeling let me just do a verse and a chorus.
Sounds great.
And they recorded this song and they did like a video, the Eli Young Band did. But I have a feeling this is something Kyle would want me to leave you guys with tonight, because Kyle was a prayer. Anytime a plane was taking off or landing, he grabbed your hand and squeezed it tight. You'd hear him whisper the Lord's name under his breath in many circumstances. And I don't know, he was very inspiring to me, his love for the Lord, and how he wasn't shy about it. And so anyway, I think you'd want us to say this. It's called Prayer for the Road. I found it outside of Birmingham, headed to another place. Took me 500 miles to get to the bottom of my suitcase. It was in between a pair of jeans and my old black winter coat. It took my breath away when I read what she wrote. May your wheels keep turning and get you where you need to go. I'll keep the porch light burning till you get back home. May the angels fly beside you down every mile you roll. May heaven hear this prayer, prayer for the road. Prayer for the road. Kyle Jacobs.
Wow. Billy, thank you so much for being here at 19 Miles Tonight. We appreciate you being here. Yeah, there you go, there you go.
You guys were awesome. Thank you so much.
Weren't they? Y'all were awesome. Now, normally we don't do this, but I feel like with the amount of songs that you've written in only 35 years, over 5,000, something like that?
Man, I lost count.
At
I don't
the
know
ring-
how many kids I have anymore.
well.
They were all my children.
Does your wife know?
Well, I'm songs.
Songs. Okay.
It's a metaphor, Ronnie.
But what we've done for you tonight is we have culminated an entire fireworks show for you. Right here in Franklin. For you.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Can we all attend?
We can all go. How many of y'all want to go see some fireworks?
I do.
All right.
You
Well,
are
the-
so kind.
Well, we know what it's like, living in Nashville, trying to make a living at music. And Garth Brooks, we could tell stories. We won't tonight. Anyway, so just a couple of housekeeping. On your way out, make sure you do stop by. There is a little dish. It's not an offering plate, but it's a little dish. If you've enjoyed what we've done at 19 Miles, having amazing artists, amazing up-and-coming writers here for you, make sure to throw something in there. We do have fireworks happening. Just a note, Franklin Road is closed until after the fireworks, so if you don't want to partake in Billy's fireworks, then you can go out through Mac Hatcher. All right, I think I covered anything. Jody said make sure you put some money in the pot. We enjoy you. Thank you so much. This has been an incredible 19 miles.
Ronnie. Thank you, guys. Ronnie, where is the best place to watch the fireworks?
So you can go to your car and watch. My favorite is going up toward the Giving Garden where we used to have everything up there. I really think that that's the best place. I do have to mention, since I do work for the radio station, the fireworks are presented by WAKM and the City of Franklin. Thank you.